Hi guys, this is the Bombay chef Varun Inamdar and welcome to Get Curried. Well, I bring tandoori chicken into your kitchen today. Tandoori chicken without an oven, yet smoky, yet flavorful. The first step is to take a clean and patted dry chicken, and what I'm doing is I'm creating a few gashes in this. So by gashes, I mean these incisions, these deep cuts, so that the marination and the masalas go right straight in. So the chicken is cut and ready. Now is the time to start marinating this. So what I have here with me is some fresh yogurt, red chili powder, ginger garlic paste, turmeric, and salt to taste. I'm going to rub all these masalas to these pieces of chicken. Make sure it's nicely rubbed in. I'm just making sure the marination reaches each and every cut and incision of this piece. I'm now going to rest this for 30 minutes at room temperature. Let it nicely marinate. Well, allow me to wash my hands as well. Now that the chicken is marinated and ready, let's begin the frying process. The first thing that goes is some oil in a pan, and along with this, a little bit of salted butter. Allow this to heat. Once the oil is moderately hot, I'll start putting in the pieces of chicken. You just have to make sure you do not overcrowd the pan, otherwise they start releasing a lot of liquids and moisture. The chicken has been cooking for 1.5 minutes on the first side. I've given it a flip. And now if you see, the color is nice and golden brown, exactly like the tandoori chicken baked in a tandoor. It's been roughly around 10 to 12 minutes. The chicken has nicely cooked on all the sides. It has cooked in right till the center. Off goes the flame. I'm transferring this into a deep bowl. Here is a magic trick to give this chicken the taste and flavor of a tandoor. I have a piece of charcoal which I'm now going to light on the gas. So let it nicely char and become red in color, and then I show you what I do with that. Finally, the trick to create smoke like tandoor. So I'm using a small steel glass, and on top of this, I'm going to place the red coal. Let's create the magic smoke. A few splashes of oil, and on goes the lid. Let this be nicely covered for like 1.5 minutes. Let all the chicken pieces get the flavor of smoke, and then we'll start plating. And ta-da! The tandoori chicken is ready. Off goes the piece of charcoal, and now let's start plating. So here you have this beautiful and rustic tandoori chicken for you and your family. Wait for what next the Bombay chef gets in your kitchen. Hello everyone, this is the Bombay chef Varun Inamdar and welcome to Get Curried. Well, here it is Seekh Kebab time. Yes, I'm making mutton Seekh Kebabs. I've taken mutton mince here. I'm just massaging the mutton mince a little to make the Seekh Kebab. Well, kebabs are available world over. Anywhere on the streets, you see charcoal, fiery charcoal burning, and there you have some kebabs grilling over them. But today, I'm making the same kebabs without charcoal. I'm doing that on a pan. So the first thing that goes in the massaged meat is some papaya paste, because papaya is also a tenderizer. So I've taken some green papaya, which is the raw papaya, that goes right here, followed by some garlic paste, some ginger paste, green chili paste, garam masala powder, red chili powder, dried kasuri methi of fenugreek leaves, and last but not the least, salt. We have to massage this for a minimum of 5 to 6 minutes so that all the masalas nicely and evenly mixed with the meat. In the meanwhile, I'm heating a pan. Now here is a very simple trick to make a seekh kebab. Well, take a little bit of this mixture in your hand, just massage it so that it becomes like a long cylinder. And once the cylinder is made, that is the time when you take a bamboo skewer and you press it right through and through. Right? And this is where you then start massaging it on top of the bamboo skewer. Similarly, I'm going to start making the others. Kebabs are ready, so is the pan. Now let's start cooking them. Oil goes in the pan. I'm placing these kebabs in the hot pan. It's roughly been a minute. I'm turning this. I'm going to cook this for another 1 minute on the other side as well. The kebabs have been cooking for roughly a minute on each side. Time is now to plate these. For the final plating, I have some sliced onions, some sliced pav or bread of your choice, some fresh mint leaves, a spring onion, and finally some lemon wedges. So here you have mutton seekh kebabs ready at the comfort of your own home kitchens. Wait for what next the Bombay chef gets for you. Hi guys, welcome to Get Curried. This is the Bombay chef Varun Inamdar, and what I get into your kitchen today is Keema Samosa, one of my most favorites in the world. So let's begin. I'm dividing the Keema Samosa recipe in 4 components. The first one is making the keema, second one is making the dough for the patti, the third one is making the samosa itself, and the fourth one is frying. So let's begin with the first one, which is the keema, for which I need some oil in a pan, and I'm going to heat this on moderate flame. I'm adding in some ghee because this is going to get the whole desiness out in the keema. Once this gets moderately hot, I'm adding in the onions. Just to hasten the cooking process, I'm adding in a little bit of salt so that the moisture of the onions is released and they get fried faster. Cook these on moderate flame. Once the onions turn light brown in color, I'll be adding in the mutton mince. Just make sure you break these clots and lumps and fry these nicely and evenly. This mixing of the keema needs to be done on a very high flame because you want the meat to be nicely seared. Now I'm adding in green chilies along with
chopped tomatoes, red chili powder, turmeric, and garam masala. Stir this nicely. Once this gets half cooked, I'm adding in the green peas, which are pre-boiled. Along with this, fresh coriander leaves, fresh mint leaves, and fresh dill leaves. Give this a nice mix, and you have to cook this without water. Make sure you keep frying this because you need it to be nice and dry. So the keema here is well cooked now. Time is now to move this aside and let it cool down completely, because you're going to fill the cooled mixture inside the dough. Let's move on to step 2, which is making the dough. For that, I have refined flour in a bowl. I'm adding in semolina, salt, caster sugar. You can also take grain sugar, which can be ground further, baking soda, and ghee. Ghee in this recipe is used like a shortening. Well, shortening is what you hear words like khasta or crisp. Well, ghee adds on to that when it converts into a breadcrumb-like mixture, like we're just working on this. Once this converts into a breadcrumb-like mixture, I'll be adding in the water. I'm going to knead this in a stiff yet a very smooth dough, for which I'm now going to take this on a tabletop and continue kneading this. This has been somewhere around 8 to 9 minutes. I'm massaging this dough. It's a nice stiff dough, yet it's very smooth. Now is the time. This dough needs rest for around 12 to 15 minutes under a damp cloth. Our dough is ready, the keema is also cooked and nicely cooled. Now moving on to step 3, which is making the samosas. So just giving it another round of a kneading, and simultaneously I'm going to roll this into a long cylinder. Now why into a cylinder? Because it becomes easier to portion the patti of the samosas. So here I have this long cylinder. I'm going to cut this right in the center and then keep dividing this into twos. So here we have equal portions. I'm knocking them back in the bowl and cover them under the same damp cloth. I'm taking the first dough, apply a little bit of oil on the board and roll this into a round initially. Once this is turned into a nice round, I'm going to pull this so that it becomes a little elongated. Well, if you notice, I'm not using any flour. I'm just rolling this with the help of a little bit of oil. So once it is ready till this stage, I'm going to cut this right in the center. I'm taking the first part of this, applying water on all the sides. And now I'm going to convert this into a little bit of a cone, something like this. So here you have this cavity which is going to be filled with the keema mixture. So here I have this keema which is nicely cooled now. I'm adding in, remember we added water which is now going to act like glue. So all you have to do is press it so that it nicely holds together and it nicely kind of gets pasted. So here this has to sit comfortably right at its seat. As samosas are ready, I'm going to cover this under a damp cloth and rest this for 10 minutes in a refrigerator. So see you soon. The Keema Samosa is nice and chilled. Now let's move on to the step 4, which is frying these. Now if you see, this oil is not hot at all. It is just low to moderately hot. If you see these bubbles that are coming in, that's exactly the temperature that you want the oil to be at. And I'm going to overcrowd this oil because I do not want the temperature of the oil to rise. And we need to keep turning these. So as soon as these go in, just after 30-40 seconds, just start turning these so that they evenly become brown. Samosa is ready. I'm transferring the samosas on an absorbent paper so that all the excess oil gets absorbed onto that. The Keema Samosas are absolutely done and ready. These are cocktail size samosas. Well, you can also make the bigger ones. Do not forget. This is the Bombay chef, Varun and Inamdar. Wait for what next. I get into your kitchen.
Pakistan is very famous for its street food, and one of the street food that is really popular is the Chapli Kebab. So let's see how to make this Chapli Kebab. I have half a kg of mutton mince and the fat along with it. The reason why we're using fat is the kebab tastes better and fat acts as a binding agent. Let's take this mutton mince in a plate. Let's add the rest of the ingredients to this. I have 2 onions that I have finely chopped, 2 tomatoes finely chopped, but the tomatoes I have de-seeded them and then chopped them into small pieces, 4 green chilies that I have finely chopped, a teaspoon of chili flakes, going to take a teaspoon of garam masala, break an egg in this, half a cup of freshly chopped coriander leaves, and I'm going to mix this. To this I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of gram flour, I have roasted this gram flour slightly, and now what I'm going to do is simply cover this and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for 30 minutes because I want the fat to coagulate in this and act as a binding agent. So it's been half an hour that we were resting the mince. To this I'm going to add a tablespoon of red chili powder, some turmeric and salt. The reason why I didn't put salt earlier is because the onion would sweat and the mixture would become runny. Now let's make the Chapli Kebab. For that, I've heated a pan over here. Add some ghee to that. I'm going to take a handful of this mixture now and I'm going to flatten it and make it nice and big. We don't want this too thick. And now I'm going to slow cook them on a medium flame. So almost 7 minutes we have fried this on one side. Now let's turn these. I'm going to add some more ghee here. As you can see, the kebab is releasing its fat, so it's going to cook really beautiful with the ghee and the fat together. We have been cooking these kebabs for at least 20 minutes, 10 minutes on each side, and our kebabs are ready. Let's remove it in a serving platter. These kebabs are ready to be served. You can serve it with a nice onion salad, a lemon veg, chutney and a bread of your choice. So do try this recipe and let me know. Today I'm going to show you a recipe of a succulent chicken kebab which is marinated with cheese and some mild spices and grilled to perfection. An innovative fusion of the Western flavors in an Indian tikka. So let's make the chicken cheese kebabs. So for these chicken cheese kebabs, let's marinate our chicken with the first marinade. I have taken 1 kg of boneless chicken here, which I've cut into 2-inch cubes. To that, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon garlic paste, 1 tablespoon of ginger paste, 2 tablespoons of chili powder, some salt, and I'm going to mix this well. Now for the second marinade, I'm going to take half a cup of yogurt. To this, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of gram flour which I have roasted, half a cup of grated cheese. I've taken processed cheese here, a pinch of mace powder, a pinch of nutmeg powder, half a teaspoon of green cardamom powder, and now I'm going to mix this really well. And this marinade now I'm going to add to the chicken. And I'm going to mix this well now. To this I'm going to add a tablespoon of oil. Again, massage the meat really well. I'm going to marinate this chicken now for an hour. The chicken has been marinated for an hour, and now I'm going to put it on wooden skewers and grill it. I'm going to grill this chicken in an oven which I've kept to preheat, and then on a temperature of 250 degrees, I'm going to grill this chicken till it's done, and in the intervals I will be basting it with little butter. So now let's put this in the oven. And now I'm going to coat this chicken with little butter. Put this in again, and now I'm going to grill this for another 5 minutes. Our chicken is ready. Let's get it out of the oven. You can serve it with a nice onion salad if you want, and some nice little tandoori rotis. It goes very well with this. So do try this recipe for your party and enjoy yourself. For such exciting recipes, keep watching Get Curried.
Hey guys, I'm Neha Naik and welcome to Get Curried. So piping hot samosa is loved by one and all on any given day, right guys? But today's recipe is specially for all the non-veg lovers out there. We'll be making chicken samosas. In a frying pan, we'll heat up some oil. Once the oil has heated up, we'll add in 1 chopped medium-sized onion. Once the onions become slightly translucent, we'll add in 1 chopped tomato. The tomato and onions are done. Now we'll add the spices to it. First, I'll be adding around a teaspoon of chili powder. Then I'll be adding half a teaspoon of garam masala, half a teaspoon of red chili powder, 2 teaspoons of chicken masala. You can use any brand you like. Half a teaspoon of black pepper. Now we'll mix it. I've stirred this mixture for around 1 to 2 minutes. And now I'll be adding in around 250 grams of minced chicken. Now we'll be adding in some salt to taste. Then half a tablespoon of green chilies which I've grounded, and around 2 tablespoons of ginger garlic paste. Again mix it. Now we'll be adding in coriander. I've chopped around a handful of coriander. Again mix it. Let the chicken cook for around 2 to 3 minutes. So chicken filling is now ready. We'll switch the gas off and we'll keep it aside to cool down for about half an hour before we start to assemble the samosas. So before we start to assemble the samosas, let's prepare a sealing paste. It's basically made out of maida or all-purpose flour and water. I've already taken a few tablespoons of maida in a bowl and I'll be adding little water to it. We'll be adding water little at a time because we don't want a runny paste. It should just be smooth and enough so as to seal the samosas. So our paste is ready. Now let's start assembling the samosas. Here I'm taking a samosa patti. You get it ready-made at any local store. On this, in one corner, I'll be putting the chicken filling we made earlier. Then we'll start rolling the patti from one end. Ensure that the filling doesn't come out. Be sure to roll it tightly. Where you see the open ends, we'll be applying the paste. Just press the ends together. Similarly, we'll roll out the second patti. Before frying the samosas, we'll heat up some oil in a kadai or a frying pan. The oil is hot enough. Let's fry the samosas. Very gently drop each samosa in the oil. Once the samosas turn golden brown in color, they are done. And we'll take them out. So our samosas are done. You can have them hot with ketchup or any other sauce or dipping of your choice. Do try this recipe and let us know in the comment section below. For such interesting recipes, stay tuned to Get Curried.